disrespect to you, Renee. But yeah, you know what I mean? Upbringing. So Drake's music did that for those people. But like if you're a drug dealer, right, and you slagging that hard, and you have to deal with the demons of slanging that hard at night.
Talk to me about content. Talk to me.
I'm coming.
Let's go with the content.
I'm coming to that. There's somebody that made you feel that way, the same way Drake made us feel, which is Jay-Z. Right? If you listen,
but that's different.
How?
Because I'm talking about a different kind of level of, because we're talking about that emotion. Because I'm not gonna deny, like, if we want to talk Jay-Z, then come on, bro, we can go back. There were people way before that even spoke about that.
Of which like, that's where I disagree, because I believe Jay-Z was the first, right? For Jay, that's why I look at Jay and Drake and I say these two
Ghostface?
Nah.
Ghostface?
No.
Really?
And here's Ghostface couldn't articulate the emotional intelligence that Jay-Z could. Same way that Drake can't articulate this. Here's the most unpopular opinion, né? Drake can articulate the emotional intelligence that Wayne couldn't articulate. Maybe Kendrick can't even articulate at all, right? And J.Cole can't to a certain extent. And these are incredible artists. But Drake has this thing, he has the edge, like his ability to articulate emotional intelligence to a higher level. The only person that could ever do that also was Jay. If you listen to Reasonable Doubt, Jay was the first one that said, selling drugs is cool, but this is what it does to you from an emotional point of view. That's why Reasonable Doubt took so long for it to catch on. And it was moving independent, yeah? Before Jay-Z became the Jay-Z, it was moving independent. Hence why they went Rockefeller.
So just to frame context, and the reason why I said what you said, you're talking about someone that is, I would say, sharing a different kind of life experience.
Yeah, a different kind of pain.
A different kind of pain that, although a lot of people might sell drugs in the States and a lot of people are impoverished and so on, you're not talking about a universal concept in terms of emotional. In terms of emotions.
Reasonable Doubt covers that.
No, but you're talking about, because what you're saying is that Jay-Z was able to articulate emotional intelligence for drug dealers and
normal people. If you listen to Reasonable Doubt, how do you feel? As you've never sold drugs in your life. How do you feel when you listen to Reasonable Doubt?
I'm embroiled by empathy.
Sure, right? So what Jay-Z did, and exactly that word, empathy, that's the most important word, right? What Jay-Z did, what Ghostface and Raekwon and the RZA and NWA and Eazy-E and them, and even Ice Cube, who is probably one of hip-hop's greatest writers, right, couldn't do.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So, are you comparing So Far Gone to Reasonable Doubt?
Yes, I stand here and say yes. I feel like So Far Gone was Drake's Reasonable Doubt.
Not Drake's. I'm talking about the industry.
The industry? How? What do you mean?
So the same kind of impact that
Reasonable Doubt had on the industry.
So
yes.
Let's say in terms of the door Reasonable Doubt opened, do you feel So Far Gone opened the same door?
100%.
Because maybe what is it 13 years later?
100%. Because before Jay-Z, nobody could articulate empathy, right? Of what, like when you listen to Reasonable Doubt, you can feel what they feel. Mm-hmm. You understand? And you even look, as a black child, for example, you look at your own circumstance and say, "Oh shit, that's probably why whomever that's doing." Because that's
what about Pac though?
Pac,
what about Pac?
Pac didn't evoke empathy. Right, because there was a disconnect in his music.
Really?
Pac's, yes, I believe so.
Brenda Had a Baby?
Fuck Brenda Had a Baby, bro.
Really?
Fuck Brenda Had a Baby. You know why? Because that's one single. We're talking projects here. If you listen to a Pac album, it is not consistent. Pac will tell you, fuck the police, but go read a book. But also, fuck this bitch because she's a bitch, but love your sisters. Pac was contradictory. Which makes him a great.
Is that not more of the circumstances of his life and him communicating in truth? Because
fuck Pac,
because
bro.
You're saying what?
Fuck Pac, and here's why. Like you talking about Pac was the same nigga that was born in Harlem, right? Went to Maryland, then repped L.A. Right, and perpetrated a lifestyle that he didn't understand that ended him getting killed. That's Pac. Don't tell me about Pac.
I'm not trying to tell you about Pac.
I feel like Pac.
I'm just asking.
Like I love
for the people listening out there.
Sure, like, listen, I love Pac, ne? But Pac was a fool. Pac was a fool, right? And
Why?
And we can try to.
Why is he a fool?
I'm
Why
gonna
is he a
explain. We can try be on some. Oh yeah, he didn't understand what he's going through because he was going through a tumultuous situation inside of him, and whatever the fuck was going on, bro. Pac was groomed to be a politician. We know that for a fact.
Okay, that's
right?
fine.
Pac found themselves in the streets because of circumstance. But how many people found themselves in the streets because of circumstance? Pac was not the first intelligent black man to be on the mic. There's Nas. Nas didn't go the same route. And I can bet you Nas was probably more cleverer than Pac. Jay-Z is a genius. He has proven it. He's a bro. There's so many rappers from that era, that had the same intelligence, right? Or sort of like the same intelligence and mental capacity as Pac. Nobody forced Pac to live the life that he lived. Pac suffered from the symptoms of wanting to be a part of FOMO. Oh, I want to be a part of this because I want to perpetrate this. What's wrong with being the person that you were when you were in Maryland? The person that you were when you were in Harlem? What's wrong with that? You know why I respect Biggie? He stayed consistent forever. Biggie stayed consistent. Pac is a great lyricist, right? He's a great lyricist, or he's a great storyteller, he's a great writer, right? But he wasn't consistent in his character. My mentor taught me one thing: you grow, you change, but character stays consistent, and that's what makes you a real person.
That's called evolving, yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Pac never had that, which makes me wonder who would have Pac been had he not died?
DMX.
And oh mama, that's the truth. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Pac's music. You know what? Who was this guy? Shock G from this crew that Pac was a part of before he went solo, right? Who was Pac's mentor? Was like, what made Pac's music impactful was his delivery. He had the delivery of a preacher.
Yeah.
From my enemies, envy me while I'm sipping on this Hennessy. You understand? He was preaching to us, which sometimes doesn't.
He was a great performer, both in and out of the studio.
Exactly. You understand?
And I mean that with every pun intended.
Exactly. Sure. You understand what I'm saying? But Pac's character and Pac's music didn't have what Jay-Z's music had.
Of course.
So, you understand? Jay-Z, that's what I'm saying. Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt changed the game because now people were able to again, if you look at, and obviously we're going on a tangent now about hip hop, right? I'll bring it back.
That's the whole point, because we're discussing great bodies of work.
Sure, I'll bring it back to Drake in a minute, right? If you look at the history of hip hop, right? People like Eric B and Rakim were affiliated to real drug dealers like 50 Cent, not Curtis Jackson, but like the real 50 Cent. You understand? like I forgot his name now. I have to go on Twitter.
The homies that don't know the real.
The homies that don't know the real. You understand? Not Curtis Jackson, but you know, Eric. Matter of fact, on the album Paid in Full, right? If you turn the back cover, 50 Cent is on the bottom left. He's dressed in like red, white, and blue tracksuits, Adidas tracksuits. You understand? Go do your research. You know what I'm saying?
You're shouting in the mic, brother.
But yeah.
Come on now, brother.
Sorry, brother. Sorry, beloved. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So people like that wanted to emulate the drug dealer's life. They wanted to write the story of the drug dealer, not understanding the high level of emotion and empathy, right, that the drug dealer feels when they take their chains off, their Nikes off, and lay on the bed and look up the ceiling. They didn't understand that part. What they understood was, oh, this nigga's selling this, and he's dressing like this, and this is what I'm gonna rap about. I'm thinking of a master plan. You understand what I'm saying?
In essence, their whole life was judged by one image.
Exactly.
Through one lens that someone would see them.
Now, a drug dealer who actually didn't want to rap came through and said, this is what I go through at night when y'all niggas are not there. That's why songs like The Evils can be there. That's why songs like Regrets can be there. That's why songs like Dead Presidents can be there. Like, if you listen to Reasonable Doubt is one of the most, like, for its time, and even now, it is the highest body of work, sort of like So Far Gone, and even I can take it further, like A Good Kid, Mad City. You understand? Like, these are bodies of work that are so important that they are time markers. So coming back to Drake, you understand? Drake was the first one in our generation to do that. Drake was the first one in our generation to say, these boys that are fucking girls, right, in high school or in college or wherever they were, right, are the first, right, yo, y'all are fucking my train of thought up. You understand? Yo, for those who don't know, now they just want to set up the cameras only now when I'm ranting. But Drake was the first, all right, to say these guys that are fucking these girls in colleges and fucking these girls in high schools or wherever the fuck, these guys that we deem as players that have high top fades or we didn't have high top fades in 2009, but waves rather, right, with a dope ass edge. This is what they feel at night. This is how alone they are. You understand? That's what Drake did. Nobody else. Same way Jay-Z said, these drug dealers that you try to emulate and that you guys look at as heroes, this is what they go through at night. So a reasonable doubt and a so far gone, which is an unpopular opinion, are the same thing to me.
Yeah.
You understand? That's why I have so much respect for Drake. And one thing that I can say that again, I'm bringing the Jay-Z comparison, right? Jay-Z gave us the Blueprint 1, where he's like, now I've accumulated this money, this is how it is. Drake gave us Take Care.
Okay.
Drake gave us Take Care because Drake said, this is what I go through. I was broke at the time. I did all of these things.
I mean, in Take Care, he was, I think I remember at the time reading, like, his net worth was about 25 mil.
Exactly.
Like, 25 cent on 25 mil.
You know, on thingy. Oh, yeah. On the model. On thingy. Excuse me. On So Far Gone, he was broke. He was telling us how he was stealing credit cards and using gas money to rent out hotels in Champagne so he can maintain an image because he wanted it that much. Same way Jay told us that, yo, I am ready to take my guy's block, somebody that I grew up with. I'm ready to take his block, take his girl, right, on the evils.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's the same type of sacrifice. They came back on Blueprint 1 and Take Care and told us that now we rich, this is what we go through.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Which is very important because I feel like nobody else in hip hop has allowed anybody else to go through that stage except for these two. You understand? After Jay-Z spoke on Reasonable Doubt, the drug dealer now had an empathetic story. After Drake's
introduced Curtis Jackson,
and then we introduced Curtis Jackson with Many Men, and so you know what I mean. Matter of fact, 50 Cent is a direct influence of Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. You understand?
So who would you say is the direct influence of
Drake?
Of Drake's?
That's a very interesting one because that's a whole generation. Yeah, that's a whole generation of rappers. You know what I mean? I mean, nobody has made it. Okay, we can say the same thing with Jay, right? Because he influenced the whole generation of rappers. But the one that made it the biggest was 50 Cent. In this era, the one that has made it, I don't know, bro. Tory Lanez? No, not even. No. Not even. I think
Drake's influence transcends hip hop. It created a completely new genre of trap soul and what you.
So I would say Bryson Tiller,
the smooth school.
Yeah, smooth school. So I would say Bryson Tiller.
Your Daniel Caesars and all them guys.
Nah. I wouldn't attribute Daniel Caesar to them because
why not?
Because R&B was already there.
But come on, bro.
The thing is,
we talking about a specific kind of sound, not just R.
No, but then now,
I'm R&B.
But then if that's the case, then we can't thank Drake for that. We thank 40. Same way, if you listen to Can't Knock the Hustle, right, by Jay-Z on Reasonable Doubt, that sound wasn't there. The smooth, very luscious sound, very laid back sound with Mary J. Blige's voice. Prior to Reasonable Doubt, it wasn't there. It was that hard boom boom, yeah, nigga, we like cracking this. You understand what I'm saying? Like it wasn't there. So and that in itself took a new branch, like that bred a new branch of sound in hip hop. So we got to keep it strictly to hip hop. Let's not, because great albums, right, incredible albums conflate genres, right? Because they breed a fuck ton of artists, right? And things like trap soul come out and blah 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 blah. You understand? Because one could say the Can't Knock the Hustle bred neo soul. You understand what I'm saying? So which is a reach at this moment. Whoever's listening to this will say you're reaching right now.
It is a reach.
It is a reach, but it's a valid reach. It's a valid reach because if you listen to the sounds on neo soul, they resemble the same sounds on Can't Knock the Hustle, which was sample based hip hop. Right? Mary J. Blige just managed to make that shit fire and turn it into quote unquote neo soul, which wasn't there at that moment. You understand what I'm saying?
So in comparison, because I feel like this is where it's gone, what made Reasonable Doubt and So Far Gone, great bodies of work, especially when you consider that this is like your introductory piece.
Okay, they don't die.
Yeah.
They don't. I still listen to Reasonable Doubt now. Reasonable Doubt turned 20 in 2016. I watched the documentary yesterday, right? And I remember when I first heard Reasonable Doubt, right? Pardon my ignorance, but I started listening to Reasonable Doubt when I was 2014. So I was in my second year of varsity, right? And all right, as much as I'm a hip hop quote unquote scholar, I started listening to Reasonable Doubt, I don't mean now I popped the tape for the first time, because Reasonable Doubt has been in my life. It's just that I started listening to it properly in 2014.
Yeah.
Because I was an adult at that time, and I understood what Reasonable Doubt was all about.
Yeah.
Right. So even now when I listen to it, I go back to my room in varsity second year, and I still feel the chills of Jay-Z saying whatever he was saying.
Yeah.
Same as So Far Gone, bro. Like, I was listening to So Far Gone trying to get Rachel to date me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so when I listen to it, I still feel like I remember what's this? Lust for Life, the first track, right? It takes me back to the bathroom on a Saturday, right, in my auntie's house. And there's a line where he talks about girls or something like that. I forgot. But there's a specific line that reminds me of the girls that used to be around us in high school. Because that line was a direct, I don't want to say comparison, but it was a direct reflection to the life that I was living in high school. I wasn't going in clubs, but you can understand the reflectiveness of a club, right, to the cafeteria in high school, right, and the girls to the girls in high school, and so on and so forth, the crews to the crew in high school. So that's what makes A Reasonable Doubt and So Far Gone great albums. They don't die. Second to that, the impact that they had in writing, in music. You understand? Like
the whole style,
the whole style, everything.
Because for me, that's also like, man, like that's why I still ride for Drake to this day, right? Because I respect the catalog. I respect the history.
The catalog is fire.
I respect the history, and for me, it's like I'm not, I'm not a hater.
Sure.
And I love King Kenny. I love Kendrick.
Let's not go into that one.
No, but I'm gonna say it.
Okay.
I love Kendrick.
Okay.
But for me, the only reason why I'm not trying to hear chats from people, right, is that for me, Kendrick didn't shift.
You wildin'.
He did.
You wildin'.
He didn't shift the playing field.
You wildin'. You wildin'. Can I show you how?
Let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Let me finish.
Because there you wilding out.
You mad like schizo right now.
You wildin'.
You mad schizo right now,
bro. I'm telling you.
For me,
okay, for you,
I don't listen. When I think of time, like, cause maybe let's say was Section 80 like 2010? 2010, 2011?
2010.
2010?
2010.
Cool.
2010.
Section 80 for me.
You can Charlemagne the God it, bro. There's fucking internet, bro.
Doesn't matter. We're having a conversation. And we're having an honest, ignorant conversation.
2010. Because wait, let's think about it. Wait. Before, let's think about it, right? So Take Care came out 2011. That shifted the culture.
Yeah.
So Good Kid, Mad City came through 2012. That shifted how albums were made forever.
Yeah.
Right. So 2010, of which Section 80. I think I get
2011 Section 80.
2011. Also, it came out the same year as Take Care. Oh, that's why it didn't make its. No.
So for me,
because J. Cole's first album came out the same year, and
So I mean, but Good Kid, Mad City came out the next year in 2012,
of course,
which it was a great album.
Sure,
it was a great album.
It's a classic.
Like it is a classic.
Sure.
Because it created a different kind of.
It's a classic for the same properties as So Far Gone, Take Care, and Reasonable Doubt.
I don't know.
I say so.
I don't know, because for me, the greatest element out of that, right?
Good Kid.
Out of Good Kid was the storytelling, both in the song and as a project as a whole,
and the mixing. And the mixing.
Yeah. I mean, shout outs to the whole team.
Ali.
Shout out,
engineers.
shout out to everybody that did that, right?
Sure.
But for me, the reason why I'm saying So Far Gone created a different shift is that, like, it gave birth to people. So Far Gone gave birth to a new breed of artists.
Same as Good Kid, though.
I don't think so.
Can I argue?
Because for me, like, Good Kid, Mad City is, if you want to talk hip hop and the mixture between a great hip hop or great rap record and something that can also be great commercially, it's the best you can get. It's
ever.
It's
no album can.
You can't get better than that.
It's the Illmatic of our time.
But exactly.
Sure.
But for me, that's just maximizing on what has already been built.
Okay,
that's not creating a different plateau. That's not creating a different energy.
Can I come in?
Because for me, I would say this: there's a difference between perfection and innovation. There's a huge difference.
I'm coming in. Can I come in?
Cool, come in.
Can I handle mine real quick?
Yeah, handle yours. So I'm loving your confidence because.
So we saying So Far Gone is reasonable doubt of our time. I say Good Kid, Mad City is Illmatic of our time. Now let's look at the impact that Illmatic had. Now, and it's even unfair to compare Good Kid, Mad City to Illmatic because Illmatic didn't really change anything. It was just the highest quality.
So maybe it is perfect then.
Oh, it was the highest quality of what was there.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Which is exactly my argument.
Yes, but Good Kid, Mad City, right, is that and more. Right.
Okay.
If you look at before Good Kid, Mad City, you didn't have artists that could build an album, and that's fact. You didn't have artists that could build an album.
What do you mean?
So the only person around that time that could build an album was Drake, because
But talk about what does build an album mean?
I'm coming to that. Let me finish, my nigga. The only person that could build an album at that time was Drake, and by building an album, you meaning creating a body of work that is succinct, right? That has follow through. Right, that has memorable records, right? That is technically, like, not flawed, unflawed, right? Technically, from the mixing to the mastering, right?
So Kanye didn't do that?
No.
Lil Wayne didn't do that?
No.
Jay-Z didn't do that?
No.
Wow.
None whatsoever. The only person
I disagree.
The only person
harshly,
that was nobody. The mixing. So what Kanye didn't come through with great mixing.
Stick to your Kendrick argument. Don't
I'm coming.
Kanye.
Yeah, no, listen. Kanye didn't come with great.
Talk about Kendrick. Right?
Kanye didn't come with great mixing. Jay-Z never came with great mixing.
Really?
Nobody came out with great mixing.
Dr. Fantasy wasn't mixed great.
No.
Really?
No.
Really?
Compared to Good Kid, Mad City, no.
Okay.
No creativity whatsoever.
But I mean, we're not. That's what. That's
what I'm saying. Listen, let me finish it.
No, but this is my argument: is that Kendrick just perfected everything.
But
he
that
did it
changed
at the highest level.
That changed everything.
What did that change?
Because mixing, people didn't know double stereo mixing by then, right? Or even if they did know it, they didn't do it properly. Bro, that me and the homies roll deep on a white Toyota. Bro, the mixing of that song put you there. Name an album where sonically, from a mixing perspective, not from lyrical ability and not from production, from a mixing perspective, puts you in a place, right, where you can hear the guy in the other room talking about there's somebody in this room and the other guy in the other room answering him. But you sitting here and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
But talk to me about then the impact of that.
That changed mixing forever. Because if you go listen to songs right now, Travis Scott is even the best example. Because now that mirror imaging that Mixed by Ali did, right, he perfected it and made it even. That's what Travis Scott did. He took what Mixed by Ali put and perfected it to his trap level. You understand? The way the album is mixed and the way the album is packaged. Yes, you're right. Kendrick lyrically, right, and production wise, he just perfected what was already there. But now he introduced a new thing, right? Mixing an album like an entire body of work. Because before Kendrick, people were mixing albums, and Drake actually on Thank Me Later, right, showed it with his documentary. Songs were mixed individually. So every song had its own entire mix, you understand, on its own, which made the song what it is. Kendrick mixed the whole album the same way so it can have the same feel. So it doesn't make you feel like you're getting off a high, right, to come to a low. You stuck there. Same with To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly, he throwed you in there, right, which is something that because look now, before Mixed by Ali, Look at the album. Everyone's album is mixed by Ali now. Everyone. YG, Mac Miller, everyone is mixed by Ali. You understand? We can go check the credits. Mixed by Ali is mixing everyone's album now. Before Good Kid, Mad City, he was just mixing TDE. So everything had its own thing. You understand? Like the mixing had its own level. His technical ability, right, was shown on Good Kid, Mad. He mixed it better than Dr. Dre could ever have mixed it. And Dre said it himself. This is the greatest mixer of all time. And Dre himself was like, Ali's the one. So that album, right, changed the game in that regard. It changed how music now is being placed in your ear. The only person that could do that, right, but not even on that quality was 40. Because 40 introduced lo-fi. 40 introduced lo-fi mixing. Right, so all he did is he took the low end of every instrument in his music, right, and took it up, so it can feel like we're in a cardboard, or we're underwater, or we in this weird ass vortex, right, which makes it feel like that's how sadness feels.
So, what I'm getting from you is that Good Kid, Mad City is more about being a technical production masterpiece,
yes,
than it is about being a song writing.
No. Okay, let me rephrase that.
Because that's what I'm getting.
Yes, what you're getting. Oh, can I say?
Hold on.
What
we
you're
both
getting?
We both can't deny the fact that from, let's just say artistry, songs and stuff like that, all Kendrick did was perfect what you could do within the realms of hip hop.
Of course, which makes the album a classic already.
Yes.
But now, what the impact, we're speaking of impact here. I get what we say, Drake showed us how to bear our emotions.
Yeah.
Jay-Z showed drug dealers to bear their emotions so we can be empathetic to drug dealers. That's why we love them so much, right? Kendrick changed the game by allowing us to have a different musical experience, by allowing engineers to go back to the drawing board and change how we listen to music. We need to thank Kendrick as much as we need to.
I'm not denying that.
Sure, that's what I'm saying.
I appreciate, because that's why I love listening to Good Kid.
Sure.
That's why I love even listening to Kendrick projects, because I can appreciate the end product, right?
Sure.
But what I'm saying is that if we're talking about a culture shift, not in terms of, because I can understand then if whatever engineer you're working with, how that affects him, right? And obviously then that puts that has a direct impact on what's going into your ear.
Sure.
But I'm talking about an artistry and the industry, and what it represents from an artistry point of view.
But then it goes back.
What is that impact on an artist specifically, in more than just saying, I want this thing to sound wholesome, I want this thing to sound...
He made people write better, bro. Like, why are we acting like he didn't make people write better? Because after Kendrick, people wrote better. Because not everyone can write like Drake. That's another thing you don't realize.
I'm not denying that. But when you say make people write better,
people were better writers after Kendrick. There were better songwriters after Kendrick. Way better songwriters.
Is it so? Okay, so give me an example of someone that
YG. YG's a thug from the street who doesn't know music from his left ear, but being in that circle, YG learned how to write properly. Listen to Nipsey Hussle prior to Good Kid, Mad City, and listen to Nipsey Hussle now. Right? Listen to most gangsta rappers from LA, right, prior to Good Kid, Mad City, and listen to them now. You understand? Listen to people who write albums like Tory Lanez. He based his whole album on Good Kid, Mad City. His whole album, I told you, is based on Good Kid, Mad City. You understand what I'm saying? You look at these things and you're like, this is what Kendrick did for the culture, and that's what makes him a monster. He changed the way people write. He changed the structure of writing. Right? Same way Drake changed the feeling. Right? There's this thing that I saw that said J.Cole is the mind, Drake is the heart, and Kendrick is the soul. And that's it.
J.Cole's the heart, Kendrick is the soul.
No, Drake is the heart. J.Cole is the mind, Kendrick's the soul. And that's it. Drake taught us how to write from the heart. Kendrick taught us how to write from the soul and even take the technical abilities to the soul. because the technical ability, bro, music is a 360 experience. And if you miss one part of it, it won't work.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's and I didn't want to bring Kendrick into this because it brings a different type of argument. You understand that? Yeah, but who's the greatest rapper? No, it's not about that.
My only, because I'm not gonna deny the impact Kendrick's had. Like,
Sure.
I'm not that guy. I'm not ignorant like that.
Sure.
My only argument is that I think, in my opinion, So Far Gone compared to Good Kid, Mad City, opened more new doors.
Yes,
right?
yes,
It opened
yes.
more new
Yes.
doors.
Matter of fact,
and
actually, I don't want to say So Far Gone. I'd rather say Take Care, because So Far Gone wasn't accepted that widely.
Of course, it wasn't. But I think, but it was more. What's the term? Is it critically acclaimed?
Yes, critically acclaimed. Yes.
It was more critically acclaimed and accepted and loved within the industry,
Sure.
because the artists themselves could listen to that. Like you say,
Sure.
like you listed all the guys that listened to that and said, "Damn, wow,
Sure.
like, what is that?"
And Kendrick is one of them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what So Far Gone did.
Sure.
Because without So Far Gone, you
There's
don't
nothing.
get Take Care. You don't.
Yes,
You don't, because
yes,
Take Care
but-
doesn't become a norm.
Yes,
Take Care
fact.
doesn't even become a possibility.
Fact, but Take Care is probably the highest until today. I believe nobody will ever make such an album in the world.
I believe so to an extent within hip hop as well, right?
I think
So
within
I'm hitting the
I think
mic
within
now.
every music genre.
Fine, but what I'm saying is that for me, you need the building blocks of Take Care and Thank Me Later to get to. I mean, of So Far Gone and Thank Me Later to get to Take Care.
Sure.
You don't get Take Care without that.
Without that, and I think
So it's like what I texted my brother last night, because I was asking him about So Far Gone, if he's listened to it and stuff. He's like, yeah, it's dope, because my brother's young, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's the meme going around. It's like, 2000 be like, have you heard Drake's
Drake's new album. Yeah, actually, that's a real thing. I saw it on Twitter.
It's
Yeah.
a real thing. But I texted my brother and I said, bro, this is Genesis. This was Genesis for Drake. Like, if Drake, you don't get
anything.
You don't
else
get anything else from Drake without understanding this
that
picture
shit. And
the tone that he set here.
which is something funny, because 50 Cent, I was watching a 50 Cent episode yesterday, and 50 Cent said, people, like, you know how in baseball you have collector items?
Mm-hmm.
So Far Gone is a collector item. And Take Care is going to be a collector's item soon. Good Kid, Mad City is going to be a collector's item soon.
Of course.
Which is amazing.
So let me just go back to my argument about the whole Kendrick thing.
Sure.
For me, I get Kendrick, and I love Kendrick.
Sure.
Because at every possible measure, you don't deny that he is the most superior hip hop talent that you can in the world. You can't deny
Greatest
by any
rapper
metric.
alive.
By any metric.
Yes.
But for me, I just don't like the narrative that spews around that
Kendrick is a better
like
rapper than
he's
Drake.
no, forget that. But his contemporaries haven't been as influential as he has.
But then that's
Like,
people that haven't been in the culture though.
But remember now.
And those are young people that say that.
But now you got a lot of old people saying that shit too.
But they're not part of the culture.
But
look at us. Like, for this whole conversation, we spoke of landmarks of the culture from fucking 96 to now. That's why I'm saying what you're saying. I can agree with it. Fact.
I think that's my biggest thing with Kendrick.
Yeah, you can't lump him with Drake. You can't.
Yeah.
I feel like you same as J. Cole, because that's another 1 hour conversation.
Yeah.
Of which we're not gonna get into that.
Yeah. J. Cole's another conversation for another day.
For another day.
I feel like he's also another guy. Like, for me, he's almost like he's in that middle. He's in that middle. Like, if Drake is far left and Kendrick is far right.
He's the middle. He's dead. He's
J.
dead
Cole
in the
is
middle.
slap bang in the middle.
Yes.
And to be honest, on his day, he'll make you question either or.
Of course.
He'll make you question Drake. He'll make you question Kendrick.
And I think that's what makes hip hop like because I tweeted this, that these 5 people, including Wayne and Nicki Minaj, have been running hip hop for 10 years, right? Yeah. And they're gonna be running hip hop for another 15, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've had such a run. The only person that has been able to do that is Jay-Z. He has run hip hop for how long now?
But he was alone.
And he was alone.
Yeah.
right?
So because we're talking about
a group of individuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So granted, like Nicki dropped an album last year. I don't think it was relevant, but she's still a king.
She's still a queen and a king.
Nah, king. She a
Same,
king.
same as Wayne. Like the Carter 5 wasn't. Renee keeps on telling us about time. Renee, this is a podcast. This is not radio.
Okay.
I feel you though. I feel you. Anyway, so you know what I'm saying. So with that being said, I feel like just to close off rather, because we touched on what makes a classic album and we touched on So Far Gone. Unfortunately, the phone call hasn't come through and it's time to dip now, right?
It's okay.
But yeah, whatever, right? I think we in a generation where we're seeing something special with 5 artists. Actually, let me speak about 3 because I don't want to count Wayne, and then I don't want to count.
I can only say let's only talk about 3 because I feel like those 3 will transcend time.
Right? And I feel like anybody that doesn't know of the culture doesn't understand the nuances of each.
They know all 3.
They know all 3, but they don't understand them, and they don't understand the origins because
which is basically what Drake's Grammy speech was about.
Of course, you understand. So Far Gone is a time marker as much as the warm up is a time marker, as much as Section 80 is a time marker, right? And I feel like So Far Gone is a very important tape because also I spoke about the warm up and Section 80, but So Far Gone started that. You know, that's one thing that we need to actually realize. Like it started that. You know what I mean? And I think as a culture, we need to teach, like as you said, you're talking to Bob and you're like, that's the genesis. I think as a culture, we need to teach the upcoming generation because people see Kendrick now, people see J. Cole now. That's why kids can say fuck J. Cole because they don't know the warm-up.
Exactly.
That's why kids can talk about Drake the way they talk about Drake because they don't know So Far Gone. They don't know Good Kid, Mad City. They don't know Section 80. And what even hurts me is that they don't even know the projects that made those projects. Like I said, the Reasonable Doubts, the Blueprint 1s, 2s, the Illmatics.
Look, there was other artists as well. I mean, you obviously have to put some Wayne in there with the Carters.
Of course, with you have to those are collector's items. Love Lockdown, thinking 808 on log.
Because you don't get a Drake without Kanye exploring and somebody those boundaries.
And there's somebody that we're not even putting in this conversation. I feel which is unfair because he's underrated, which is Wale.
Yeah.
I think Wale is underrated, but that's a conversation for the next day.
Oh yeah, underrated rappers is a different.
That's a different thing. Yeah,
that's a different planet.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that like next time. We're not trying to have you listen to the podcast for like 2 hours. Like
I don't know how long it's run for, but
we're not the Joe Budden podcast where them niggas speak for 4 hours or 3 hours. And we're not Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz where they speak for like 2.
Yeah.
So
look, one thing I will say though is that regardless of what was planned, what wasn't planned, I think this conversation is a very important one for people to have because
very much
it kind of, in a way, I feel like what we're starting to do is like contextualize hip hop and the culture a lot.
Sure.
Because I think people don't understand it. Because people see it at face value, like it's a reality show and say,
sure,
or not even a reality show. People see it as this, amazing production right now. Like for me, it's like you have to, like the fact that you don't even understand how someone like a Travis Scott becomes Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to understand.
You need to understand. Everything has a genesis.
If you go back to Eric B and Rakim. And you had to go in that time and put a Travis Scott in their face, they'll be like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck is this?
Like, what is this?"
So you need to
you need to do your history. Why how these things evolve, and unfortunately, like this is not a history lesson. Like we can't
we should though.
I mean, I guess we can't. I guess it is one way or another, right? But we can't give the entire timeline and break it down
because we were not even born.
Look, exactly, we weren't But we cared enough to learn about these things. So you can Google stuff.
For you motherfuckers that don't know, hip-hop is 46 years old this year. 46 years old.
That's a young middle-aged man.
That's a middle-aged man. So you niggas shouldn't look at it like it's a 20-year-old or it's a 16-year-old. It's a 46-year-old middle-aged man.
It's a lot of history.
It's a lot of history you need to get.
It's one that's full of pride.
Exactly.
That loves what it's about.
Y'all niggas need to know why Tupac dead, and you should stop overhyping him. Here's a question: yes or no answer? Are classic albums lost in time?
No.
Okay.
Because classic albums transcend time.
Ask Bob about Reasonable Doubt.
He obviously doesn't know Reasonable Doubt.
And that's a problem.
He can't access it on Apple Music. Like, come on, let's be real.
That's a
We're
problem.
talking about someone who's born in 2002 here.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out.
But I will say this before you go out. You go out. If you had to take your pick on the best introductory piece or body of work from a hip hop artist,
Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt.
Alright.
That's me. That's my album. There's a lot, but Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt is the first. So yeah, guys, I'm out. Two Phone Totem. Catch us on fucking Twitter at Rhetoric Rap. Catch us on Facebook, the Rap Rhetoric. The Rhetoric. Sorry, Jesus Christ, the Rhetoric ZA.
Jeez, and everything.
Yeah, the Rhetoric ZA. Catch us on Instagram, the Rhetoric ZA. Catch the podcast on for whoever. If you listen to this on Spotify, thank you. If you listen to this on iTunes, thank you. If you listen to this on SoundCloud, thank you. We'll see you on episode 3.
And also, I mean, if you're on the SoundCloud join,
leave a comment.
You can comment, and please do. Like, I really love getting that smoke. Like, if y'all feel like we're talking some shit,
yeah, say something.
Give us that energy.
Yeah,
I want that smoke.
Yeah, say something.
I want that smoke.
We're gonna put this on even YouTube too. So if you're listening to this on YouTube and you feel like we're talking shit, put a comment.
I want that smoke.
Put a comment.
Because the thing is, it will feed back. Like, it will loop back into another episode.
100%. Yo, guys, thank you very much for listening. All 26 of y'all. If it's 28 this time, thank you. If it's 30, 100, whatever the fuck, thank you. We'll catch you again on the next episode.
And we out.
Peace. Two Phone Totem. We out.